Previously on World War III. Drake has a son? Why is Drake in blackface? I don't believe there's going to be a nuke of that level in this exchange between Kendrick and Drake.
Wrong.
They hired a crisis management team to clean up the fact that you beat on your queen.
That's a lot of damage.
He got sex offenders on OVO that he keep on a monthly allowance.
Now that's a lot of damage.
Look who's not so perfect anymore! I'm so sick of your crap, Brooke! Like keeping secrets from you! Quit it! Get over it! I've never done that, Brooke! Yes, you have!
You know, I'm really starting to think that Jinx issue may actually be a thing because it seriously seems whatever I say one day, the opposite will happen the next. There was a phrase coined in 1962 during the height of the Cold War by a man of the name of Donald Brennan called mutually assured destruction, otherwise known as MAD. The equivalent is happening before our very eyes in hip-hop. The repercussions for the entire world are infinitely less than nuclear fallout, but the same can't be said for these two gentlemen individually. J. Cole leaving the multiplayer free-for-all lobby is starting to make more and more sense.
Yeah. Let me out.
J. Cole was able to cross the demilitarized zone unscathed. I can definitely sympathize with him more in the sentiments that he expressed.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I see dead people.
Hi. Monster on the beat, rap nigga, be a freak though. I'm finna pass on this body, I'm John Stockton. Why you trolling like a bitch, ain't you tired? Tryna strike a chord, and it's probably A minor.
That is an Avengers level threat.
Now that the dust is somewhat settled, and someone isn't dropping a song every time someone blinks, the general consensus of the internets have declared Kendrick the winner of this rap beef. We're going to do same as last video. We're going to be completely objective about this, all bias aside. DJ Academics had a side-by-side of respective artists' songs saying which song was better than the other. I think he has the unpopular opinion that Push-Ups was better than Euphoria. I don't believe that. I think most people don't believe that. But this beef was a story of two different worlds of people who consume music. The people who like the bumpables and the people who like songs with a message. They went to war here. But in between them, there are the casuals who are just witnessing all of this, not really knowing whose side to pick. The casuals who are on the outskirts of both respective artists' fan bases are going to be the ones to determine who comes out the victor. Because if you can capture the hearts and minds of those who aren't regular hip-hop listeners, and they're just coming in just because of all of the attention this is getting, they're going to be the ones who are, to be honest, the most unbiased in deciding who wins because they don't have a stake in this. Not Like Us, to me, was the killing blow. The visual of Drake's house was sex offender icons. The imagery is too powerful. Doesn't matter if it's true. As Charlemagne says, people don't care about the truth if the lie is more entertaining. I talk directly to Drake fans when I say this. Put your thinking caps on. Comprehend this. Get past your love of the artist. Which of these two men had more damaging allegations pointed their way? Let's assume everything is true. Who are you going to be more disgusted at? Who is the general populace of the world going to be more disgusted at? The person who abused their wife or the person who's on Epstein timing? Diddler activities. The diddler is going to be the one that gets the biggest amount of hatred and vitriol directed their way. Both artists have goalposts pushed for them. Both artists have biased fans. They have advantages and they have disadvantages. But Drake's disadvantage here is that Kendrick made a claim that has breadcrumbs. Not saying that Drake is doing these things, but there are instances where an average person who has no investment in either artist can look at them and say, that's weird, that's weird, that's weird. But the girl in question came out and defended Drake. Doesn't matter. Y'all can look up any type of age of consent rules you want and try to justify this and that. If you see somebody think, I could get in trouble for this, and they proceed to do it anyway, that's questionable behavior. Drake's allegation of Kendrick cannot be proven in any way, shape, or form unless his wife says something, or fiance, since he brought up they aren't married. People don't care that they aren't married. It does look bad on him and some of the things that he's supposed to represent as an artist, someone of impeccable moral standing, but he talked about this and deconstructed himself on Mr. Morale. Kendrick is not your savior. He shitted on himself for the majority of the album. Oh, so you're saying just because Kendrick said he was a bad person, it makes it okay if he's a bad person? No. I'm saying that if you're attacking somebody who you say is worse than you and they're a liar, you probably shouldn't lie yourself in doing so, because people are just going to look back at you and be like, well, that's a lie. How do you misinterpret such an understandable line like this? He literally said, but nobody believed me, and you use this as ammo because you are grasping for straws. Master manipulator, you bid on the speculation, you dumb and reactive nigga. You're doing the same thing right here. Literally the same thing. You are reacting in a dumb and stupid way, which brings us to Kendrick. The daughter play blew up in his face and is a massive L. I consider that a bad L because this whole song gets invalidated. On top of it not being something one could listen to or would want to listen to multiple times, it has no real replay value, just like the Heart Part 6 doesn't really have any replay value because it's littered with inconsistencies and falsehoods, and it's a low energy song. This here, an even bigger low energy song that's completely false. If this was real, it would make the song have some standing of foundation. One still wouldn't want to listen to it as much, but you'd be more prone to want to listen to it just because you're like, man, he Pusha T'd him again, Drake. How could you get caught in the same thing twice? But unfortunately, this isn't the case. I'm going to let it be known right now. I listen to Drake more often than I listen to Kendrick, but I like Kendrick more as an artist. I believe he has far more to offer, more substance, more in the way of longevity. And like Eminem, he makes me think as though he's some sort of superhero at rapping. That Boogeyman title, that's not just old people calling him that. He genuinely makes you feel that way when he's rapping. Both Eminem and Kendrick give off this aura, this persona of invincibility. They cannot be harmed in any way, shape, or form. And if someone dares to diss them in the aftermath of the battle, you see what I did there?
Yeah, that's not funny.
Fine, be that way, I don't care. Whoever they faced in battle, we assumed would just be completely destroyed without any trace left. Rap God activity. When this song was upended to be entirely fabricated or fraudulent, this is how I felt.
He's cut! He's cut! You cut him! You hurt him! You see? He's not a machine! He's a man!
Also, any and all claims of Kendrick removing the cover art of these respective songs because he got duped, being 616 and Meet the Grams, isn't true. You can't use someone else's personal information as a cover photo. Apple and Spotify guidelines stipulate this. Also, if he baited Kendrick, why didn't he have a response ready to go once Kendrick released? That would have taken all the air out of Kendrick's momentum. He didn't have one ready. There was a whole good amount of time that passed before he goes and says this is the case. Where were the DMs? Where were the other people involved in this? Like, you didn't show any of this to happen. Kendrick's silence on it is telling, but it still needs to be used in a form of a weapon, and you didn't do that. And then this response, this is why this song is bad. If I was fucking young girls, I promise I'd have been arrested. What does that even mean? I'm too famous for this shit you just suggest. What the hell does that even mean, Drake? You sat in a studio and came up with this line and no one stopped you and said, hey, that's not a good argument. And the molestation bar, like, you didn't listen properly. This plays into what Kendrick's saying, where, oh, you just got some stuff from Mr. Morale. You did, and you can't be bothered to comprehend it or dwell upon it. You just use it because what else am I going to do? My back is against the corner. And now you may say, well, this is too much bias for Kendrick. I'm talking about claims made that can't be immediately proven. And it can't really have any type of verifiable information, really. You can do those all day in a rap battle. But something like this where you're quoting a line of information you have no idea about, Drake has no idea about. He doesn't have a mole to feed him this. He doesn't have anybody from Kendrick's childhood that can verify this. He is using information off of a song of an album that he did not listen to. And he probably turned that song on, like playing like 30 seconds here or there. Like, what can I use? What can I use? Half-baked ass attack on a song where you literally say, yeah, you could have 100 more of these. I'll see you later. I don't even want to diss you no more. The man sounds tired. He doesn't want no more.
He's all wrong for us, baby. Man kept coming after you. We don't need that kind of man in our life. I know what you're feeling. Let it go.
You even have Merriam-Webster getting involved with this beef. You've got Shia LaBeouf over here saying, wop, 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 wop. And the memes, my God, these memes are so damaging. The internet is having a field day. This reminds me of when Drake dismantled and ragdolled Meek Mill. The memes just would not end. It was hell on digital earth for months for Meek. And the same very thing is happening to Drake now. And once Kendrick removed the copyright claims for reaction videos listening to Not Like Us, whereas with Drake, you still get takedown notices or copyright claims, Drake, who has so much more money than Kendrick, feels the need to not do anything about creators getting takedown notices and getting in trouble for reacting to the disses. Now he finally has, but he's only doing so to one-up Kendrick. This is follower behavior. You should have did this already.
So funny to me because I think he thought this reply track was going to be good, but all it did was dig his hole. He said, speaking of anything with a child, let's get to that now. The Epstein angle was the shit that I expected. Why would you expect that?
Friendship with Drake. Tell me about your friendship. How did this all come about?
I love him. I met him in Australia, and he's honestly so fantastic and a great friend and a great role model. You know, we just texted each other the other day, and he was like, "I miss you so much." I was like, "I miss you more." He's coming to Atlanta, so I'm definitely gonna go and see him. I'm so excited. Yeah.
What advice does he give you? Like, what does he say?
About boys. He helps me.
What?
Yeah. He's great. He's wonderful. I love him.
What's his advice with boys?
You know, that stays in the text messages.
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
Look at the comments to his retort to Kendrick. They can see through these lines. They see how flimsy of a response this is. They feel the weakness. They can see you putting on a defensive stance. Once you go on the defense and a rap beef, it's over. And the numbers across the board are so skewed heavily to Kendrick that it's overwhelming. At the time of recording this, Kendrick is set to debut #1 with Euphoria. That's not like a dance hall type song or anything you can bop to. With Euphoria, he's competing against Tommy Richmond's $1 Million Baby. That's a great song, by the way. Do check that out. He's even set to replace himself on numerous different charts with Euphoria and Not Like Us. They even booed Drake's music in Toronto, the capital, his domicile, his inner sanctum. Too many people are dancing to this. Too many people are enjoying this. How can you possibly convince them Drake won? How can you convince any reasonable person that Drake won this beef?
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Freaky ass nigga, he the 69 God. 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 Let me hear you say OV ho. Say OV ho. Then step this way, step that way. Then step this way, step that way.
Also, at the time of recording this, Drake's house has been shot at. There have been things going down. This is where I said I didn't want things to go. This was what that original video was going to be about. I said I don't like how dirty things are. I don't even like the way academics phrased this tweet, the one pictured in Kendrick Lamar's latest single cover, implying this could be due to as a result of that and just this being Kendrick affiliated things, when apparently this is OVO XO related affairs. I didn't know singers got down like that. Damn. This better not go to Tupac and Biggie levels. It's going to go from I'm trying to out-rap dude to I'm trying to out-shoot dude. When it came to the individual songs, I believe Family Matters was very good. It blew push-ups out of the water. Drake outdid himself. He exceeded his own expectations. He practically shattered them for that. He did what Kendrick did on Euphoria, and it sounded even better, and at least sonically anyway. Lyrically, Euphoria, I believe, is better. But had Not Like Us dropped, I think we would be having a different conversation about how things are going. Meet the Grams Until Further Notice is just inadmissible to me, and Heart Part 6 is the weakest for Drake in this exchange. So those are the two weakest songs. Despite Kendrick winning this, I don't think he leaves this battle without having some scars and bruises from it. But the damage Drake received from this is objectively worse, and it may have repercussions for him going forward. Remember, this battle didn't have to get personal. This could have been a friendly fade, like Kendrick said. But Drake has a habit of dissing women in people's lives. He did this with Pusha T. Don't make me put it on you like Virginia Williams, and now you do the same thing here. To me, I just see it as a weakness. If you can't out-rap me and you have to bring up personal things, what does that even say about you as an MC? Technically, there are no rules in rap beef, but there are boundaries that once you cross it, some people just aren't going to want to rap anymore. They're going to say something so bad about you that if there's even so much as a crumb of believability in it, it's going to stick. And unfortunately, the pedal thing sticks to Drake. I don't want either man to experience any form of violence directed at them due to this beef. I hope things don't escalate. And there's a high possibility we still get more music from either one of them, which is what I'm hoping for, of course. So tell me below, what did you think about what I've said? Do you disagree with anything? Who do you think won this beef? Like and subscribe if you are new. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.